The Nigerian parents abroad are basically fighting a losing battle. 100 years from now, their lineage at home will be forgotten entirely. Their epitaph will read like those sold into slavery 400 years ago. The big houses some are currently building in cities and villages across Nigeria will be taken over by relatives left at home. Many who are already seeing this possibility and cannot live with it are beginning to regret the very day they went to the foreign embassy to seek a visa. Some, though very few, have returned home to face whatever challenge they encounter at home. Welcome back to the show. My name is Rodolfo Okonkwo. I was just reading from This American Life Self, some of the subjects, topics that we discuss in this Wednesday episode of Have Your Say, taken from the book. It's an interesting thing. We want to dedicate on Wednesdays to have a conversation about life abroad. And I'm happy that you are joining us. And I've put up the link so that you can come in and we can, in the meantime, take a look at this.
And a woman who held a baby against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children." And he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. Yes. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backwards, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archers sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable."
Thank you very much. That's our roadside poet reading Our Children. It's a very important poem about the relationship between children and their parents. So today we are going to discuss the challenges of raising African children abroad. What works and what doesn't work. It's a big topic. I think everybody who is outside of Africa trying to raise a kid is dealing with that dilemma one way or the other. We want to hear from you. We want you to join the conversation. We want you to share your experiences. Nobody has it right. A lot of people have tried so many things. Some have resulted in sending their children back home so that they will get training that they got when they were home. The question is home the same? Is it the same thing that we had when we were there? And then there are some people who are dealing with the issue of giving their children what they did not have. And in the process, they forget to give their children the things that they had. So join me so that we have that conversation. In the meantime, take a look at this again.
Start dying slowly if you do not travel. You start dying slowly if you do not travel, if you do not read, if you do not listen to the sounds of life, if you do not appreciate yourself. You start dying slowly. When you kill your self-esteem, when you do not let others help you, you start dying slowly. If you become a slave of your habits, walking every day on the same paths, if you do not change your routine, if you do not wear different colors, or you do not speak to those you don't know, you start dying slowly. If you avoid to feel passion and their turbulent emotions, those which make your eyes glisten and your heart beat fast, you start dying slowly. If you do not change your life when you are not satisfied with your job or with your love, if you do not risk what is safe for the uncertain, if you do not go after a dream, if you do not allow yourself at least once in your lifetime to run away from sensible advice.
Thank you again, our roadside poets. Let me read. I'm reading from This American Life Safe. There's a chapter 5, Our Children Are Coming, which is the subject of our conversation today. Our children being born abroad, what are they going to be? What is the connection that they will have with home? How do we achieve that? I want to hear from you. What are you doing? What is working for you? Let me read a paragraph from this. The Nigerian child born abroad is at best a hyphenated Nigerian. More often than not, these kids are not Nigerian in both nature and nurture. The forces of the society they were born into usually frustrate every attempt by parents to raise them up as Nigerians. As these children grow, parents are at a loss as to how to imbibe in them the things they had, while at the same time giving them the things that they did not have. It is the greatest dilemma of life abroad. You don't have to have kids to know that it's a concern. But for those who have kids, who have tried several things, I want to hear from you. What have you tried? What is working for you? Are you concerned about the future of your kids? Are you satisfied knowing that many of them may not go back home? Let's have that conversation. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we get our guests joining us and we have that conversation. Let me play you a review done by Adiola, my friend, of this book while we take a break.
Hello. Let's see. Review of, you know what, forget it. What's up, my people? It's your girl Adiola. Today I want to tell you why you need to read this book, This American Life Safe, tada, by the one and only Rudolph Ogo Okonkwo. If you know this man, you know he's a very good writer. I read this book and I was like, oh my god, finally somebody was able to put the experiences of so many Africans that are living in the US in like few pages. It's a collection of stories, great stories. This represents the stories of all African immigrants. Some of the things that happen in this book happen to Ghanaians, Senegalese people. It happens to people that are from different parts of Africa. So if you're from Africa, you need to read this book. It makes you realize you're not alone in the struggle, and the struggle is real. By the way, this book is based on true life stories. So he changed names, he changed locations, but most of the stories in the book are true life stories, except the last two stories. And you know what? The last two stories, they were part of my favorite stories. So I'm like, Rudolph, you need to write more, my brother. Now let me give you 5 reasons why you need to read this book. You know what? Forget it. Why do I need reasons? Okay, 10 reasons. You know what? Forget it. I'm not giving you any reasons. Let me just tell you what I enjoyed about the book. First of all, the first chapter, you know, I didn't really feel it if I should advise Rudolph Okonkwo. Why would you make that your first chapter? I almost fell asleep. Like, seriously? And it's not like there's anything wrong with that chapter. It's just like it didn't really grab my attention like the other chapters. I was like, why did he put this one somewhere in the middle? That is just my honest review. But starting from the second chapter, he got my attention. I said, my brother, tell them, preach. That second chapter, Saving Mahmoud Doka, that was my favorite chapter in the whole book. Saving Mahmoud Doka. There are so many Mahmoud Doka in this America. You know, women that came to America because their husband came to marry them, to bring them to America, and then they got to America and realized, it's not what I thought you. It was about a Nigerian woman that came here and her husband was trying to shield her, trying to protect her. He won't let her have any friends because he didn't want her to be Americanized so that she won't change. He wanted to keep her the typical Nigerian woman, cook, take care of children. That was it. You know why I love that chapter? Because one day the woman decided to break free. I said, yes, my sister. She was like, you know what, this is not the life I wanted for myself, and she went out to go after her dream. And then there was another chapter titled Before You Kill Your Wife. I said, yes. Finally, somebody is addressing this, because I have heard that there were some Nigerian men that killed their wives here in the US because the wives were becoming too successful for them. I was like, what? So this chapter put everything in perspective, why you should not kill your wife, and if you must to kill your wife by fire, by force, make sure you read this book before you kill your wife. As a matter of fact, Rudolph didn't say that people shouldn't kill their wives. No, he was actually encouraging men to kill their wives, but he said, before you kill her though, make sure you have this in place, and make sure that you don't run from the police when they come to catch you, because they will catch you. And then there was a chapter about how Nigerian parents in the US want their children to know about the Nigerian culture, and how some of them will send their children back to Nigeria for secondary school. Reading that chapter will help you to understand what it's like for people trying so hard to also be reintegrated into the Nigerian culture. Now, the last two chapters that are fiction, I really enjoy them because I've seen it happen all the time, like Nigerian ladies here that are trying to make sure that they marry Nigerian guys. That story actually broke my heart, about how so many people would do anything just to get a man to marry them because they wanted to marry a Nigerian guy. So they don't mind doing anything so long as he marries them, help him get his green card, help him get a job, and help him do everything until they wake up one day and the guy has a turuma or somebody else. The guy has followed another woman. And you know the very last story, which is one of the stories that I really enjoy, Nigerians that would come to the US and spend 20-40 years in the US. Their children are grown, the children don't have anything to do with Nigeria, but they want to move back to Nigeria. They don't want to be alone in Nigeria. They don't want to move to the elderly homes here in the US. It's just very sad when you see how some people end up, and this book makes you think actually that, you know what do I need to do to avoid that happening to me? If I want to move back to Nigeria, if I want to grow old in Nigeria, when is the right time to move back to Nigeria? This book talks about what so many people go through before they can get their green card, their citizenship. When you hear people's stories, you will be like, wow, I can't believe people are going through that. Having said that, this book is also for people that are not African immigrants. If you want to know what it's like for Africans that are here, I strongly recommend this book for people that are not living in America, because when you read this book, you get to understand what we mean when you call us and say send the money home, and we say, hey, where do you want me to find the money? I'm working daytime, nighttime, part-time, and overtime. I cannot even pay my own bills. In fact, after you read this book, some of you will start sending me money. Forget about 10 reasons or 5 reasons. I think I know the one reason why you should read this book. The book is cheap, $10. I need to call Rudolph. Who sells a book for 10? This book is way too good for $10. $10, story Kenny. By the way, I was thrilled when I read the acknowledgement he gave to his madam. I said, Rudolph is in love. I was crying. But you know, I was so surprised that I saw my name in the acknowledgement. I said, hey, now maybe that. Thank you, Rudolph, for giving me some kind of acknowledgement. It's nice knowing you. Anyway, you need to pay me for doing this review, okay? This is what I get for refusing to write a review. I said I would make my own video. I'm so proud of you, and I hope you guys will get a copy of this book, This American Life Self. You will not be disappointed. It's my fufu ready. Alright, make sure you subscribe to my channel so I can do more videos like this. Alright, make sure you subscribe to my channel so I can do more videos like this.
Oh, Adiola. Anyway, so welcome back, everybody. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. I hope we are going to have the conversation today. Are you people afraid of this topic? I think it's a very important topic that we should have. I see that Osino is hanging around in the studio, back end of the studio, and some other people. I will call you up if you want to join. Turn on your camera. I will know that you are ready. I don't want people to join when they are not properly dressed. So, but the topic is very important, for anybody who has kid abroad. It doesn't matter if it's in America or in Europe or in Asia. We face the same issue, the same dilemma. What's up? What's going to happen to these kids? Are they going to be Nigerians? Are they going to grow up to know where their parents came from? Or are they going to become part of that society? What is your take? Let me know your experience. What are you seeing where you are? What are parents doing? There are parents who are sending these kids back to Nigeria to go and learn and go and become Nigerian, and they bring them back here after high school. I don't know if it works. Did you try that? Do you know anybody who tried it? Did it work for them? Let's have that conversation. And there are people who frequently take the kids home. I know an instant here where someone was doing that until they got to college. And once they are 18, and if they don't want to go, you can't really force them to go. But in the past, of course, when they are very young, you can take them home to Nigeria or to Kenya or wherever you come from. So what is working for people? And of course, when they grow up, they get established wherever you are. They get a job. Do they still want to go home? There are some who can say that their kids still go home on their own. Even without the parents, they go back to Nigeria to see their cousins, their relations. How is your experience like? What worked for you? We want to share this idea. We want to learn from each other. Nobody, when it comes to raising a kid, nobody has figured it out. Nobody. I'm sure of that. There are always challenges. So we think that if you share what works for you and what doesn't work, and maybe some people will pick one or two things. Like I said, there are people in the studio. If you want to join me, turn on your camera so that we can bring you on and you can join me. Okay. In the meantime, let me see if I can read another line from this. Our children are coming, which I think is at the core of what we're discussing today. The final line of that is the most controversial. It says that in recent discussion of this issue with my friend Obinna, he came up with a classic macho plan to resolve the problem. His plan is to marry one wife in America and another in Nigeria. When he's ready to go home and retire, he will have a family at home to spend his twilight years with. Next week, I will visit Obinna and essentially discuss his plan with his girlfriend, Ify. I can't wait to hear what she thinks of Obinna's plan. Quite interesting, thinking about that, I remember what happened after. So we can talk about that when people join and we begin the conversation. But I think this is something that is very, very key. So some of the decisions we make a decision to move out, leave our continent, leave our country, and go to a different place. And we're not the first to do that. I had this discussion with a friend, and he essentially said that America or Australia, wherever you are, most of the time you see, if you look at the history, it's made of people who left where they came from. But somehow we Africans, we resist the idea that we have left home. We're out. We want to be out and still be part of it. We want to live in America and then retire home. We want to have children who will come back to Africa. It's a difficult thing. The Italians, when they came to America, they tried that. They did the same thing we're doing now. They built the Italian Cultural Center in different parts of America. They tried to come together. They probably went back to Italy several times. But I see young Italian Americans, and I talk to them and I say, have you been to Italy? No. Do you plan to go? Well, my grandfather is from there. I've never been there. So it gets a time, even if as a parent in America, even if you manage, you succeed in taking your kids home and get them to go home several times, chances are that they may end up marrying an American, regular American, and they may not go back. Even if they go back, the next generation may not. So are we fighting a losing battle? That's a very big question. And why don't we relax and be like other people, other people from Italy, from Spain, from Ireland that came to America and basically called it home and packed up and forgot about where they came from. There are many like that. They forgot about their family. I know it's difficult for Africans because of our nature, because of how interconnected our society, where we came from, is. But people have made that decision. They made that choice in America, in Britain, in Australia, in several places. They have. So we want you to be part of that conversation. Join us. Again, I will share the live stream. You can join us. If you want to watch, you can watch on YouTube. Unfortunately, today we are not on Rudolph Okonkwo Dr. Damage's Facebook. We have small problem over there. They don't let us go live on Facebook for a time being, But you can see us on YouTube, which is where we are live, and on Twitter. Some people are watching on Twitter, so you can join us. So again, what is it like for you? Where are you with the questions? Are your children interested in going back to Africa? All right. Hello, John Abba.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. You are enjoying in Texas.
Yeah, everything is big in Texas.
So I know that you are married. I know that you have kids, and let me start with you. Are your kids, have they gone back to Nigeria before?
Yes,
How many times?
once.
Did they like it?
Not really.
Why?
I don't know.
Why did you take them back? Why did you take them back to Nigeria?
I'm from Nigeria, and I just want them to see that part of the world and meet with my relatives and other siblings.
Yeah. So did they continue to talk to their relatives after visiting Nigeria?
Not really.
You're not alone. I'm just throwing out
Yeah,
questions because
yeah.
I know that's what everybody's going through,
Yeah.
So what do you think now? What do you think about, 30 years from now, 50 years from now? Do you think that they will go back to Nigeria?
If things are the way they are, I don't think they will.
Okay. Okay. If things are the way they are, you're talking about insecurity and all the issues.
Yes.
Okay. What about what would be the incentive? What would make them want to go back?
Who will make them want to go back, or what will
Yeah.
make them want to go back?
Yeah, what will make them want to go back? What is there? Do you have a business at home? Do you have a mansion? What do you think will draw them back to Nigeria?
The fact that I don't see for now, I don't see anything that will draw them back to Nigeria. Just like you have said, the insecurity, the infrastructure, a lot of stuff that are not right, and uh, I don't think
Now,
they will
do
love to
you want to retire in Nigeria, or do you want to retire here?
Initially, I want to retire in Nigeria, but with all that is going on, I don't
No,
think.
I don't think it's going to continue. I mean, if it continues, the Benue State will not be in existence if things continue this way. Something will have to change. Things will change. But if it's a normal country like the country you left, I don't know when you left Nigeria, but if it gets back to normal, do you think you want to retire? And if you want to do that, how about your children? Do you think they will come there to visit you?
Yeah, I know. If I'm there, they will come to visit me. Of course, they will come to visit me, but like you are saying that you don't think that the things will be the way they are.
No, yeah, of course, things
I
are bad
don't
now.
think it, but for the insecurity in my own lifetime, this is the worst I have seen Nigeria. But then it was not good before we get to this
Hmm.
extent. But I don't also see in the next 30 years, I don't see any change that much because
Mm.
30 years from now, I don't see any changes that I watch your show with um uh that that something Mustafa, what's her name,
Aisha Yusuf.
Aisha
Yeah.
Yusuf.
Okay.
And I I was a little bit encouraged when he talked about the leadership, and we see places like Dubai and see how they come, the whole Arab world are now the attraction of the world. But then it's about good leadership,
Mm.
good governance. So I
Mm.
don't see that for now. Uh, I was trying to encourage people uh, uh, to vote for uh, young people. I mentioned like Sowore, but what what the people are saying is they say that Tinubu was the same before he claimed to be activist. The governor of those state was a so that they are afraid that it's not going to be different if he become a president. I say, well, the fear of repeating the same thing, but at least you try something new.
Mm.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you cannot be recycling the old people and giving you 10,000, giving you 20,000, and then go vote or send you to go cause chaos somewhere. I don't see that. But when I saw you and Aisha Yusuf, I was kind of the way she talked, with so much knowledge and wisdom, but I'm still scared. I don't
Mm.
think there's any way soon.
Now let me ask you, your children, do they speak your native tongue? Do they speak your language?
No, and it's even worse because my wife, she's a Yoruba and I'm not.
Okay,
so
okay. Do they
so
speak
we are not.
Yoruba?
No, they don't. They understand a little bit of everything,
Mm.
but I think we would have been better if me and my wife are speaking the same language. Maybe that could have helped a little because I have a friend here who their family they understand fluently, but they don't speak. But I
They
think they
don't
are
speak.
all Igbo, but they
So, but if
understand.
they don't speak, what it means is that they will not teach their own children that
Yes,
language.
no, no, they will not.
So and of course, it gets to a point where you may not be able to function in the Nigerian society if you can't speak any of the languages there.
Yeah, that I don't think. I think you can. I met a lady in Lagos.
Mm.
She was 23 years old when I met her.
Mm.
20 years of life, she stayed in Benue State. And when I asked her, "Do you speak Idoma?" She said, "No." I
Mm.
said, "What?" Yeah, I saw her in Lagos. She said, "I don't understand Idoma." I said, 23 years, now you are 23 years old and
Mm.
you are in Lagos for 3 years now, and you're 20 years in your native land with your parent. So it's like she's forming.
Mm.
People, the point I'm making is that sometimes people have come to believe that uh, speaking English is somehow make you
Okay.
intelligent.
I got that. That's true. It happens in Nigeria a lot. But let's stand by, John Abba. Let's go to
Okay.
Ostino. Ostino is joining us from Maryland. Ostino, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Doc.
This subject is meant for you. It's your subject. So let me ask you, what are the challenges that you see that African parents face in raising their kids abroad?
Oh, it's a lot of challenges, and parenting, especially, there's no manual for parenting,
Mm.
especially if you are an African and you are trying to raise your kids, um, over here. So, um, you look at what other people are doing, see what is working and what is not working. You try to borrow from them. You try to learn from them. But the main thing is you trying to inculcate the kind of values and the kind of discipline that you want your kids, to get, um, taking into consideration that how you were raised, and even though that um, certain things might not be obtainable over here, like the issue of kind of spanking the kids. You cannot do that much over here. If you go through the biblical way, the Bible is telling us that when you spare the rod, you lose the child. But how much can you do over here? The laws will not permit you to go through that route. So it becomes a problem. But you can, do some other things. You can take their their best tool,
Toys.
but their best toys. You can take them away from them. But the main thing is you trying to make sure that your kids are turning out good. They are not into gangs. They are not into drugs. They are not wayward.
Mm.
Uh, that's the least that you can do, or the most that you can do.
Mm.
The other one, it's you have to commit it into prayer and see how you know God can help you to make sure that your kids turn out good.
Mm.
You know.
Mm.
So, but it's
So,
really really difficult.
mm. So what is the ultimate goal of raising these kids? Making, because we have a lot of families in America that I know, they raise all these doctors, engineers, and they become part of the American society. How does that help where we come from? How does that help you?
Well, your ultimate goal is to make sure that your kids do even better than yourself.
Mm.
It doesn't matter, where they are, as long as they are doing well in their own skill, in their own, as individuals. That's your ultimate goal. You don't want a situation whereby you have any of your kid in the prison. You don't want that.
Mm.
So your ultimate goal is to make sure that they turn out good. I mean, that's the most you can do for them. You give them that basic, the education that they need. Make sure that and it comes from making sure that they do their homework. They are disciplined enough to be able to carry on their own lives. Uh-huh. That's all you can do.
Mm.
Some people might be looking at, oh, okay, I'm gonna make sure that my kids are doctors or engineers, so that when I retire or when I'm not capable, they will turn around to start, taking care of me. That might not happen.
Mm.
I'm sorry to say that it might not happen.
It
Uh,
doesn't happen often, not that it might not happen.
I'm just trying to be. I'm just trying to be.
Don't give false hope to people. It doesn't happen.
Yes.
Mm.
No, I'm just trying to be
Mm.
moderate,
Mm.
because you can see some people, some families, they got it together. Their kids, you know, took care of them when they were old.
In America,
Yeah, I mean,
African families.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I haven't seen them.
yeah, because remember, some of us,
I
try
have
to,
seen one like that in. Oh, I'm not cutting you off,
yeah,
Steno.
John Abba. Okay, yeah, you've seen one where?
In Texas here,
How old are the parents?
the parents are in their 60s,
Oh, that's not
and
age. That's not the age we're talking about. It's when they
no,
can't
he's
help
talking
themselves.
about coming to take care of them. The taking
Yeah.
care of them can We are not personally. I'm not this one. I'm not talking about bringing them to stay with them and cleaning them up and all of that. I'm talking about the guy pay off his father's house and all of that. It's part of taking care of them
Oh,
because
okay, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because it's not that one too is not that real because they also carry their student loan and carry
Mhm.
their own baggage and
That's
but
a good
few
point.
yeah, so that one I have seen one family like that, but it doesn't it's once in a and I also have seen um uh a family that the 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 children are willing to bring them home to stay with them,
Mm.
but the parents said there is no point that they should leave them in a it's not a nursing home, but it's like
Old people
retired, yes, a
retirement home.
retired
Mm.
retirement this thing, and they work it together to the point that it was the choice of the
of
parents.
the
It
of the
happen
parent.
once in a while. Mm.
Mm. Okay, very good. Because I know a story here in New York where the kids didn't bother about helping the
No,
parents to
yeah.
finish
Mm.
paying the mortgage and they
Mhm.
lost the house. All right,
Oh.
Osino, we'll come back to you. Let me get Ralph because Ralph talks to African immigrants in his podcast, and I think he probably has covered this subject of what they have to do, what they think about raising kids there. So, Ralph, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
So we're
Okay.
talking about the
What's up?
challenges of raising kids outside of Africa, whether it's in America or it's in Britain or it's in Spain, wherever in the world you are. I know you talk to African immigrants and you do your podcasts on these subjects and other things. What are you hearing from people, and what are your own personal challenges in raising your own kid?
Well, which one do you want to start with? My challenges or
Yeah,
my
mix
guest?
them up, mix them up.
uh, well, thank you for having me as always. From every uh,
Ralph, you're in Brooklyn. What is wrong? You are in Brooklyn. You don't. You don't have internet in Brooklyn. Why are you?
hmm?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if it's if enemy of progress
I
is
mean,
attacking
no,
my
no, no, no,
internet.
no. I think Brooklyn may have ended up being a third world country. I don't know. What? Okay, go ahead.
Is it better?
Try again. Let's see.
Is it better now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, wait. Let me.
So while we wait for
So
Ralph to figure out his network, Ostaino.
Yes.
So let's say you ended up most people succeed. Most Africans actually, to a large extent, they succeed in having their kids uh, basically complete whole, like they go to school and turn out well. The other question that is part of this is that how do you feel? Because if these kids are not going to go back home with you, if you are going to retire home like you, I know that you plan to retire home. You said there's a secret plan you don't discuss on air, but how do you now feel? Because how do you feel, leaving your kids here and going back home to retire? What is that about?
Well, I mean, it's a very just like I stated the other time, it's a very dicey, issue. Um, you have to make provisions, for yourself.
Mm,
You got to make provision for yourself because these kids, just like I stated the other time, I don't think they are coming home with you.
mm,
They don't show any interest.
mm,
Even though that, I was saying that I will give them that option.
mm,
Make sure that I take them before they get to 18, 20 years. Make sure I take them a couple of times back home to give them that opportunity. They have to make that choice. If they really like it back home, or if they want to come back, or if they want to relocate, they have to make that choice for them. but nothing is written on a stone, you know. So I will allow them to just, you know, choose which one they would like to do along the line. I mean, down the line,
down the road. Yeah.
down the road.
Okay.
So it's really difficult, because from all indication, I'm not seeing them showing any interest. Because now,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say, I'll come back to you so that you tell me what you have for them that will make them interested in coming to Nigeria. But let's get
I will give you the answer right now.
Okay, what do you have for them?
There's nothing right there.
Okay, you have nothing for them. So why do you want them to go there? Anyway, stand by. Let me talk to Chukwudi and Nwankwo, who is joining us. I hope he can hear us. Chukwudi, welcome to the show. Okay, I think Chukwudi is frozen. We'll come back to you, Raf. So talk to us.
Yeah. How's it sounding now?
Yeah, good. Now you're okay.
All right. Okay. So for back to same question, right?
Yeah.
I'm answering the same question.
Yeah. What are the challenges that you're seeing, you know, in your own life, or people you talk to on your podcast? What are they saying?
Well, it varies, but in a way it doesn't, because it's still the same thing. It doesn't matter if they're Nigerians, Cameroonians, Ghanaians, South Africans. They literally, even from Myanmar, Indonesia, wherever, India, they're literally saying the same thing. Everybody does not want their offspring to forget where they came from. At the same time, they want the best for their children. And if you're in America, you want them to have the American dream. You want them to own America. You want them to dominate, be the best, be on top of the world. But at the same time, it's like, we want you to go back and dominate whatever you came from. We want you to. So it's like, we want you to own best of all worlds possible. And then you have some who are like myself, who have offsprings that belong to like 3 worlds. My daughter was born in Brooklyn. She's from 3 countries. We don't talk about those people because we always assume because the dad is from Nigeria, so automatically the child is Nigerian only. And well, the child is from Nigeria, America, Germany. So what happens to those type of children? You know, don't add that to the conversation. We just only, you know, the conversation is always like only Nigeria owns the child. So even before my daughter was born, there were people already fighting me because there were certain languages people were using. Like, this is what you must do. This is how you must, you know, when will you take the child to Nigeria? How will you do this? When will you do that? What? And I was like, I don't even know. I don't know. The child hasn't even come out. I don't even know if I'm having a boy or girl because I didn't want to know. Well, we both decided we'll wait until the baby comes out. Oh, it's not like we won't love whatever comes out. We won't love the child. But they were giving us rules. And I said, it doesn't matter. It's our child. We'll decide what we want. And one of my guests, my most recent guest, she was born here in, I think she was born in Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken, but raised in Houston to Cameroonian parents. And she's only been to Cameroon once at around age 10. And she was born in the 80s, so she didn't have good information about Cameroon. And it was like, oh, backward, you know, those advertisements they used to have back in the days about hungry children in Africa. They're all hungry, looking for food. And then she said when she arrived there, she was surprised to see mansions in her village, children playing, and she had fun. Everybody was giving her sweets. So she said that's like the most fun she ever had as a child. And that was a great memory that lives with her to this day. She's almost 40 now. There are people with those type of mindset, and there are people who, when they went home, like my cousin, who unfortunately passed away in December, she's almost my age. She was my age mate too. She was born in Boston, but Ijaw lady, Zimbabwean mother, she went to South Africa for the first time, and she got robbed. On our way to the airport, her rich uncle gave her $3,000, and on our way to the airport, somebody dressed as a police officer stopped her, robbed her, and it sounded like a robbery in Nigeria. The same thing. And when she went to Nigeria for the first time, she had because she's from the part of the family that, because she came from America, the rich family members took care of her, and they gave her mobile police security. So she got a totally different experience of Nigeria, but she knows that that's not the Nigeria that everybody experiences. So when people are saying, I want to go to Nigeria, I want to go to Nigeria, she's like, you are not going to get a mobile police escort wherever you go. So it's going to be different for you, because people who went with her were like, oh, I love Nigeria. I want to come back, I want to go again. And she's like, no, you're not going to get the same experience. It was because of me they gave you this experience. And I understood that, because she knows if it was Raf coming, Raf is not, I've come from the other side of the family. Go sit down one side, you know. But I mean, when I joined the Navy, it was different. You know, I became, my level in the family went up. So there's all these layers that we don't talk about. It changes the whole game. So if my child is coming back now, where does she rank in the family? Who likes her? Who doesn't like her? There's all these things that come into the dimension. And then does she get the good treatment? And then my aunt was kidnapped in the last presidential election. My aunt was from the 2019. She's on the elite because her husband is married into what's his name, the Dokubo family. He was his favorite nephew. She got kidnapped, and I know how much they asked for ransom. So we already know the elements exist, but I understood the whole element, how it worked. And then her younger sister is married to a congressman from Delta State. He had been kidnapped. She had been kidnapped the previous election. So there are people who have their eyes on certain people in the family. If my daughter is coming now, then you know that there's like, oh, we can get money from Americana. That's how they see it.
Okay,
so
Raf.
You have to think about all these things.
Yeah,
that's somebody.
That's very good point. Let's go to Helen. Helen is joining us from Texas. Helen, welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, welcome again. So,
what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the challenges of raising kids in America.
Oh, I have a lot to say.
I know you have a lot, and so Malika, and what are your challenges? What are you facing?
So I have 3 children, so I'm experienced. I have a 14-year-old son, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and an 8-year-old. I am privileged I call myself a privileged mom, not a single mom. And in this season, I'm raising them by myself. And yes, there are challenges. During the pandemic, I experienced a lot of things, raising a boy with all that was going on. And just trying to be relevant with my children, especially my son. And we lived in a neighborhood that was predominantly white. And one day my son asked if he could go play soccer with one of his classmates in the neighboring neighborhood. And I told him, hey, son, I know you're innocently going to ride your bike to that neighborhood and go play soccer. But I told him, look here, in this volatile situation that we're in, no, you can't go. Because I know I've raised you right. I know you behave, you're not a troublemaker. But not everybody knows who you are and whose you are. So those are the kind of challenges that, I have a 15-year-old son about to start driving. I'm nervous about him being on the road, all these things. But it's not all bad. America is a great place to raise our children. I just encourage my fellow Africans, we would rise up to the occasion and raise our children with the attitude that we are in America.
We're in America to stay?
We're in America to stay.
So,
we're not visiting.
We are not going anywhere else.
We're not visiting.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. There are parents who take that position. This idea of Osaino dreaming about building a mansion in Nigeria that he won't live in, or maybe the kids will not go back to.
The mansion that is just gathering cobwebs.
All right, Helen, stay with us. Let's hear Jonaba.
Yes.
Did you buy into this idea that you are here to stay?
like we discussed earlier, if things change for better in Nigeria,
You go
but
back.
it's a long walk to freedom.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
uh,
If things change, you go back. Ostaino,
Yes.
yeah. Do you see the contra contradiction? Being here and dreaming about being somewhere else.
Well, I mean, the first thing you have to ask yourself: are people not living in Nigeria right now?
Oh, Janaba, that's for you, not for me. I
People,
know people are living
um,
there.
people
people are
are
still
living in
living in
Nigeria. I
Nigeria,
go to
even
Nigerian.
with the. Go ahead.
People are living in Nigeria. I go to Nigerian often because of my business that I do. The people that are living in Nigeria is either they are tap into the corruption. There is no, you can earn your living here, whether you are a nurse, whether you are a cleaner, whether you are a doctor. It doesn't really matter. You can be comfortable. There is how many millions of Nigerians are jobless year after year. People in their 40s, even 50s, are staying with their parents. So people are living in Nigeria, of course, but they are not living in a. There is not medically. It's nonsense. People die. A cousin of mine called me for headache and went to the best hospital called Lut in Lagos, and before you know it, she died. And then the doctor was giving them 10,000. I said, "What is that?" So people live in Nigeria, but what is happening in Nigeria is even more than what is happening in Ukraine.
Well,
All right.
we are talking of retirement right now. I'm not going to Nigeria to go and start looking for a job in Nigeria. The reason why I'm going to Nigeria eventually is to go and give back to the community that I come from. I'm not going to start looking for a job. We are talking about, when we retire, like at the age of 70, something like that. I'm going to give back to the community where I come from. I'm not going to work for somebody, and I pray that God will give me that resources, to be able to do that.
Okay. Osano, hold on. Why are you laughing, Helen? You
Okay.
don't think he's going to retire? But Helen, let me ask you: your kids, have they gone back to Kenya?
Oh, yes, we lived in Kenya for 2.5 years. And I have a lot of Nigerian friends and people who are well-to-do, people who are middle class, people who are recent immigrants, because I managed an assisted living facility. So I had newcomers, but I have friends who have established businesses here. So I interact with a lot of Nigerians. But let me speak about Kenyans, because I'm proudly Kenyan. And about 7 years ago, I moved back to Kenya. The wild dream of, hey, maybe it's possible to go to Kenya and live there. And if you have Kenyan friends, a lot of Kenyans go back to Kenya for some reason or another. But the corruption is just as bad as it is in Nigeria. For heaven's sake, we're all Africa. Africa is Africa. But when I moved back to Kenya, my dad was gravely ill, and I had decided, since my kids were young, let me try this idea of moving back to Kenya, see how it works. Well, I came back 2.5 years later, and the reason I came back is that jobs were not easy to come by. School fees for my kids, the kind of school that I wanted them to go, it wasn't affordable, and I just didn't even see the return for my money. I live in a good neighborhood in Texas, and my kids go to a great school, and I'm happy about that. So when I came back, I decided that, hey, Kenya will be home. I come from a very big family. I'm an 8th born out of 9 children. My mother is still alive and she lives in Kenya. I have 6 siblings that live in Kenya right now. I love Kenya. But for me to go live there, honestly, those 2.5 years gave me a good reason. It gave me the satisfaction that I am not working hard or building wealth in America only to go and retire in Kenya. Please, if I die today, Rudolph is a good friend of mine. He'll be in my committee.
Committee of
I
Friends.
say, bury me in America. When I die, where I die is where I want to be buried. Okay, Rudolph?
I had you. It's on record now. When we meet, when the Committee of Friends meet.
That idea of me being 70 and going to Kenya, no, I'm not doing that. My kids are going to be raised here. They're going to live their lives here. I want to be a grandma in America. If I buy a mobile home and travel around the country like what people do here, that is the kind of grandma I want to be.
Very interesting.
So please don't take me to Kenya. I am not going to Kenya. I will go visit my mother. My mother is 83 years old. She's beautiful. And I try and go as much as I can. I try and go every year. My last trip was a 7-day trip. And you people might ask, what do you do in Africa for 7 days? I strictly went to go see my mother. And that's it.
Okay, we are going to come back to you later. I want to know how your children are relating to your relatives in Kenya, if the distance.
That's a beautiful story. I mean, I could talk for days about living in Kenya. I don't regret it.
No, I mean now that they are back here in Texas, how are they relating to your relatives?
They know their cousins by their names. They know their aunties and uncles. These are not just people that you hear I talk to on WhatsApp and they don't know. When they see their Auntie Sarah on the phone, they know this is Auntie Sarah. They know their grandmother. They know everybody.
And they speak Swahili. Do they speak Swahili?
They understand.
Okay.
We're not as good as the Indians in my house. You know, we haven't taught. I haven't been able to teach them, but they understand.
Okay. Raf. So we see Alcino is going back. John Abba is hoping that Nigeria will be good and he will go back. Raf.
No.
Oh, you're not going back?
No. Let's put it on record in case I die and one of my friends.
I will be in Committee of Friends. everybody here.
No, I already say it's a long walk to freedom. Cosano, I respect, of course, it's well, and I wish he planned it well and it worked well for him. But I live in Staten Island for 9 years. Our neighbor was a pastor with deeper life. In their 60-something to 70, they moved to Lagos. The Yoruba, I think they call them Budmi or something like that. And the day they arrived, not less than a week, they robbed everybody there. They run with their life, and they came back here and started living with their children. And before they started, because he used to work with the city of New York, and he went back. I think by now he should be in his 80s. So, like I said to you, that it's a long walk to freedom. I don't see it, and I have infrastructure. I have my children love the fact that when they go home, they get security. They don't know why they will have security. No, I don't need security in America. So nobody following me around with anything. But they enjoy that kind of life. But I don't see myself in my 70 or 80s, and I'll go back to Nigeria. But if I go and visit and I die there, they should bury me there. They shouldn't bring me to America.
I agree.
Okay. Ralph, where are you heading to? 30 years from now, 50 years from now, or if you stay 100 years more, but where are you?
Jeez, I can't tell you right now, because if I tell you right now, at one point in time I was thinking it was Seychelles. At one point in time I was thinking it would be Thailand. At one point in time,
let me show you.
Those places are all cheaper than everywhere
you.
they are cheaper than almost everywhere that I've thought about. But there's one thing my brother Steino said that I would like to say. I wish people would stop saying that, or if it works for you, say it works for you, and stop using that as. I think too many Nigerians. I heard a lot from Nigerians, but I heard from other people too, not only just Nigerians. This language of I'm not going to work for somebody else. I'm only going to. We all in a way work for somebody. whether you are a president of a country or you are a CEO of a company that you founded, you all work for somebody. It's not a crime for somebody to have a job where you have a boss. Stop shaming people. Stop using that language as if it's a shame. The person who's a janitor, it's not a bad thing.
Okay, I will let Osaino answer.
We should stop sounding like it's wrong that people have bosses.
I don't think he meant that.
They're not doing something. They're all contributing. I get it, but I think it's something that, you know, I always say it on my podcast, and I say, like, you know, I had a lady who came and made a big episode, and she talked about how she's an entrepreneur, and she said entrepreneurs you're working for people. You actually have the people, your customers are your bosses. We just don't say it. So just keep that in mind, because we always forget that, and I think it's important, because we are talking about our children today, and our children look up to us, and it's our language that they copy, and we forget that they copy our language, and then tomorrow they go use that language, and then it's like, oh, what example have you set?
Exactly.
Their children are sponges. They just soak up everything we say, and then we'll say tomorrow, how did this child turn out to be this person? So back on the topic, I can tell you that for me, I don't really care where I end up, to be honest. I've seen nice places in Germany where my in-laws are. It's nice. But I don't know if I did New York life right now is I love it. I love Brooklyn more than Manhattan. I can't do Manhattan. It's too much for me. Too many Karens around there.
All right, so, Ralph,
but if it comes to retirement, I'll probably end up in. I don't know where I'll end up right now, so I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
But I'm not retiring to Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, when I say that I'm not going there, it's just my preference. At that age, at that point in time, I'm not trying to shame anybody. What I'm saying is that when I go to Nigeria, it's purely on charitable, basis. I want to be able to contribute my own quota to the community that raised me. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to shame anybody.
It's fine.
I'm just saying that when I go there, I'll be doing just charity work. Help my community. Take care of the elderly people among them. Just by educating the people, the environment. Using the experiences that I've gotten from here to empower my own community. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to shame anybody.
I understood all that. It's just what you're saying. You're not going to work for anybody. Okay. You're not having any boss. I'm just like, okay, we all have bosses, whether we know it.
Okay. Let's get back to the conversation. I want to hear Helen. I want to hear how your children are relating with their cousins and other relations, because that's something that is missing in all this discussion we're having. I mean, you can have a perfect life. You can have your kids go to the best colleges and but don't you feel if they are not connected to the other parts of your family that there's something missing? Helen, can you tell us how you did that and what they are doing, apart from the fact that they lived in Kenya for 2.5 years?
It's still a work in progress. And relatives, it doesn't mean that it is your brothers, your sisters. We also have a community here. I know, being that we are African, we congregate, whether it's through church, through different organizations. We always find a way to congregate together. So it's even those relationships, keeping them alive and well. The pandemic did a number on a lot of those kind of socialization areas. So basically, even my sister here, we make it a priority to meet once a month. Just she and I, we go to breakfast, and once a month we share a meal together. My family, her family, and some cousins in the area. So it doesn't matter where you are, and it might not be your blood relatives, but I think that's, you pick your few people, and these are the people that your kids will grow up with, and sense of community, and that's how I try to propagate that.
Okay, let me bring in Arinze. I've seen you in the studio, but you're not. There's no light where you are. Are you in Nigeria? if there's no light, we think it's Nigeria. Are you in Nigeria? Where are you joining us from? Can you hear us, Arinze? Okay, let me unmute you. Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
I'm joining from Malta.
You don't have light in Malta? Is that not Europe?
It's me. Well, no, I'm working on. I'm moving to my house.
Okay. I'm just kidding. So how are you?
No, I'm good. I'm on the street, just moving towards my house now.
Yeah, I know that. I know that you are married. You told us last time you married. You have a kid, I think. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm married to a Maltese woman, white woman, but the marriage couldn't work out. I separated.
Oh, okay. So what do you think about what are the challenges you face in raising your kid in Malta?
Number one, my biggest achievement is to name my daughter Igbo name. To give her Igbo name.
What's her name?
Her name is Chigozie.
Chigozie, okay.
To give her that name, the Oyibo woman did not accept that.
You had to fight to give her Igbo name.
I fight.
You see, I didn't think about this. This is one of the challenges people face. So
it's a big challenge.
And on her birth certificate it says Chigozie.
Chigozie, yeah.
Wow, they should give you a title somewhere in your village. But so does she speak the language?
She understands. She speak a bit. I'm trying to. Because of that, then destroy the marriage so that I will not influence her with the African language.
Oh, okay.
So, it's not easy.
All right, Chigozie, it's very noisy where you are. We have to leave you. Okay. We'll get you back when you get home. Get inside the house. We can get you back to talk to us. Okay. So
he just got in.
Yeah, go ahead, Helen. You were saying something?
Oh no, he just got in the house.
He just got in the house. Okay, we'll get back to him. I mean, I didn't know that people fight for names. That's one of the things that we don't even that's why we have this conversation. Some people actually, especially if you have interracial marriages or people from different countries getting married, there could be a fight over what to name a child. So Osaino, how is your kids? How are they relating to your brothers, their cousins? How are you doing that?
Oh, I allow them, call my siblings over there. They know their cousins over there. They talk to them. Those people over there, they have phones. They exchange numbers. They talk to, each other once in a while. So they know their names. I mean, that's the most you can do right now, So they know they have a family. They know they have a grandmom there. They know my brothers and sisters, my sisters. They talk to my sisters. So that's how we've been able to, navigate it right now.
Okay, that's very good. So beyond being able to talk to do you think that 10 years from now when they go to college they will continue to do that, or do you think that is something they are doing because you are there?
I think they will continue to do that. The relationship has been established already. And it's left for them to continue. If they I believe they will continue. But you can't force anybody. Just like I said, we continue to take them home so that they can bond with them sometimes during holidays and stuff like that. I mean, for me, I live for my family. You understand that? I cannot be here because of what I'm getting here or the enjoyment that I'm, forget that part of my family. I live for them, so there's no way I can forget my brothers over there because I'm in America right now, So we continue to make sure that we have a cordial relationship by way of talking all the time when we do have the opportunity. And, we can visit also. So all these things, we make the bond to, continue. It's very important. It's very necessary that you allow that kind of cordial relationship to exist between your siblings.
All right. I like that. But let me. I'll come to you, Arinze. Okay, I'll come back to you. I know that you are inside now, but I want to get Helen's opinion about this. Now, Helen mentioned that she lives in a more like a place that is most of the people there are white, and there is this tendency. I know all of us here, our kids are not yet grown to the age of getting married. That's another period that we have to deal with being abroad. And one of the issues is that at that point, some parents, African parents abroad, will now want their kids to go and find an African to marry. Oh, you have to marry from Nigeria. You have to marry from Kenya. How do you make that happen when you've taken them away from where they can see Nigerians because they're doing so well, they went to live with white people, and when the time comes and they start coming home with white, you now say, no, it's time to go and find a Nigerian to marry. Helen, I know you have older siblings who probably their kids are getting married. How did they navigate that?
Oh, it's so interesting you asked me that question, because that is a question in my forefront, and my Ethan is 15, so maybe in another 10 years I'll be calling you for wedding. But now my older sister's children both have married white girl and boy, and we love them to death. They are amazing, and we love them to death. In fact, we spent Christmas with them, and that's another way we try and keep up with each other. So and my son made a comment during I think it was either my son or my daughter, my niece made a comment and said, now that my kids are exposed to their cousins' husband and wife, it will set a precedent, because that's what they know as functional. So I have to be prepared for that. But again, I also feel like socializing amongst ourselves is very important. Go to those church functions, go to those community functions. I know Nigerians are good about, wherever you're from, you have a association and all that. But our kids find each other.
Yeah. No, what I wanted to know, okay, that's good. I understand the point. What I wanted to know from each of you, I will come round now. Will you prefer that your children marry somebody from where you come from, or you open to anybody?
No.
As long as they're happy.
No.
As
Good
long as
Christian family.
Okay. Let me go this way. Ralph, I know that your daughter is half German, you are half Nigerian, half Ghanaian, you're everywhere. I don't think it will matter to you, does it?
No, it wouldn't matter to me. And my family is also everywhere too. I have cousins from England, Scotland, and France. And there's someone in Austria. We don't even know where that one is hiding.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
am I going to start setting boundary? Although I've heard the story of my grandfather setting boundary for some people, it didn't work out because he didn't set boundary. So how did he? So yeah, who's going to start setting boundary? At the end of the day, are you happy? Can you stand by your choice? Okay, you're old enough to make the choice. As far as it's not child marriage, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Osaino, do you care where your children will end up? Who they will end up marrying?
Doc, some of these questions are very, very, serious questions, and I have noticed that most of the time when we discuss these questions, especially myself, when I talk on these things, people, think that it's a reflection of my own household, and based on that, they begin to make
comments on YouTube.
They begin to make comments. I go back to read those comments.
Tell them.
And some of these comments are not really nice,
Welcome to my world.
Some of the comments are not really nice, and instead of you to hide behind your keyboard, you can as well show your face and express your own view on some of these topics.
Mhm.
You know, it's not easy.
Yeah,
But
but Osano, you shouldn't worry about what they are saying. You know, if
yes,
you worry about what they are saying, this show will not be on. Nobody will do
yes,
anything.
yeah. But I would prefer my biblically. I would prefer the Bible tells us that when it's time for you to get married, you should go to your people. You should go to your culture and get married. You know, I would prefer my kids to marry somebody from my place, from my culture. But I am not the one who is gonna choose for them. You know, if they find anywhere they find love, I will encourage them. The most important thing is, are they happy? You know, but if I have to, you know, choose for them, or I can suggest to them, okay, this is the situation right here. This is how it is. It's left for you to make that decision. You know, I'm sorry to say that, but I know that we talked about it one time. I was telling you that, you know, I know that they will come for my neck, but you know, we are kind of better people, if I may use that word, you know, than what is obtainable around here. You know what I mean?
I hope. All right, Helen. I'll come to you. Let me hear. Okay, Helen, go ahead, Helen.
I want to answer him.
Okay, answer him. Yeah.
So
Helen, go ahead.
So I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry,
hold
but
on.
that's how I feel. You know.
It's your feeling. Nobody can take it away from
Exactly.
you. Helen, answer him.
No, go. Let's finish, everybody.
Okay. John Abba, are you concerned? Will you be worried about who you are if your daughter comes home one day and says, "I'm marrying this man. I want to marry this man from Mexico"? What are you gonna do?
Not really. As far as you find love in that person and treat her with respect, I don't have a problem with that. It's natural for everybody to get drawn to their culture, to their skin, but when it comes to that kind of a thing, what difference does it make if you marry my neighbor and is treating my child with impunity or disrespecting my daughter? What difference does it make, even if it's my neighbor from the same village or my next door neighbor? I don't look at it that way. I would love them to be happy, and whosoever they get married to, it doesn't concern me. But I'm not answering Steno, but I know the scripture that is saying that they say go back. There are many things we African, I have pastored for so many years, so I understand part of the Bible very well. But the point is that we misunderstood so many things. There are a lot of racism comment in the Holy Bible. That is the truth. So if we started using it sometimes, we don't put it in the right perspective that we are trying to pass the message to somebody out of love. If it's a culture, then me and you will not even be here in the first place, because this is not our culture. This is not where we were born. But it's just about finding where you can fulfill your life. And there are many. I met white American in Nigeria, and he loved it. He told me, "Why am I in America?" I said that everything they settle on the street in America, in Nigeria, he loved that better. So I said, okay, you're from a crime family, so that's why. So we should know the way we apply those things. I'm not answering Steno directly, but I was referring to the scripture that was using that they say go back to your kindred and get married. Some of those things are racial issues.
Okay, thank you so much. Arinze, I see that as soon as John Abba mentioned the Bible and racism in the Bible, Ekene joined us, and I know he has issues with that, but we'll come back to him. Arinze, are you going to be worried about who your daughter will marry? Will you want your daughter to marry? I mean, you fought the war and you gave her a Igbo name. Are you going to fight to make sure she's married to an Igbo man? Okay. Hold on. Let's unmute you. Okay, go ahead, Irene.
I'm still fighting the war.
Oh yes.
I'll fight the war until I die. My daughter will marry from Anambra.
It's not even about Igbo land. It's going to be Anambra. That's a good. I like the warrior.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
They took my daughter away from me when she was 3, and then took me to court here in Europe, and then forged some stupid rubbish statement, said that I want to take the child and run away to Nigeria. And the court decided to ban me not to come close to the child, to my daughter. I said, okay. I walk out of the court. After 4 years, my daughter, when they start to brainwash her that she's an European. So when she go to school, she didn't, for 4 years, she don't know who is she. She never see me. They took her away from me when she was 3. So when she go to school, they will call her Chikosia. They can't pronounce the name Chigozie. Then the students start telling her that you are African. Your name is not an European name. You are not European. So when she go back home, she will ask her mother, am I an European or am I an African? Her mother will tell her, no, you are European. You are not African. Huh? So when she go back to school again, they will keep telling her that your name is Chikos, your name is Africa. You are not European. So when she gets to 7 years old, she now tell her mother, I want to see my father. Then tell me in school that they keep telling me that my name is Chikos. My name is African name. It's not European. I was sleeping one certain time, and her mother called me and told me, come and take your daughter.
Just like that?
That is it. Just like that.
Wow.
And I went there. And she hugged me and she told me the story. And she told me everything she went through in school. So I will advise my people, when they took slaves from Africa to America, the first thing they did is to change the African name. I will advise my people, make sure you name your child. If you have a child with somebody that's not an African, name your child an African name. It's not that name. It is not that name, that she goes here, that Igbo name. Forget it. She will not know me again.
Wow.
So
you make me feel like... Go ahead.
Ever since then, I know the war is not over yet. So in positioning her, giving her the knowledge how the Western world works and how Africa works, and giving her Igbo tradition, my African tradition, how you work. So now, psychologically and mentally, she believes that she's an African, number one. I achieve that. If you ask her, where do you come from? She will tell you, I'm from Anambra. She will not tell you that I'm from Europe.
She will not say I'm from Nigeria. She will say I'm from Anambra. Okay. Arinze, hold on, okay? Let's get other people because we are running out of time. We want to make sure that people are participating. I will come back to you. I like the fight you are fighting. Helen, you wanted to say something. Helen, can you hear us? Okay, I don't think Helen can hear us. All right. Helen, whenever you come back, you can. Let's go to Ekene. Ekene, welcome to the show. Ekene, you are muted. Okay, you have to unmute yourself, Ekene.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, good.
Okay.
So we're talking about challenges of raising African children abroad. I know you raised a daughter, and tell us the challenges you faced.
I've heard some of the things people are saying over here. I don't know. I mean, we've talked in private. The way I look at it, I don't know what people are worried about. Their kids. I was talking to my daughter, some months ago, we're talking about parenting. No one is a perfect parent. I don't know. Especially for the person, you just have, your first child. You've never learned how to raise a kid before, and there are so many challenges. Every child is different. There have been people who raise good kids. Good people. They raise kids, and then the children become bad. There have been bad people who raise kids, and the kids, they become good people. Just like in psychology or whatever, or in sociology, whatever, they said man is a product of environment, observation, and the mind. The things you observe in your environment and the way your mind processes, all those things. One thing that would affect one person, same thing will affect two people. One person would be different. Another person will interpret it differently, come out differently. So that's the way I look at it. But I look at it also because someone mentioned the Bible, and that's why, sometimes, it's because, maybe because I'm getting older, I started, thinking like, philosophically. Look at, for instance, Abraham. Abraham was told, let's assume that, it's a true story. Let's say, it's true, it's a true story. Abraham was called out of his, father's house, go to a land from what we know in history. He was born in Syria, the present-day Syria. And, he left and came to Canaan, which is, present-day Israel, So he left a whole, place. And then he became a father in the present-day Israel. And his kids, right there, his kids scattered all over the world. His kids, let's just assume that the Islam, that the founder of Islam or whatever, Muhammad, was a descendant of Abraham. His kids, they are controlling the whole world. Christianity, his kids. Judaism, his kids. Islam, his kids. Just Abraham. His descendant is the president of Ukraine. So I don't know, people worry, oh, my child will go, be in Nigeria. Live your life. Their kids, they have to, chatter their path. So, you can just give them the values, let them, be good people. That's what you can do. Especially in the West, whereby, there is, individualism, communalism, it doesn't work in the West like it works in in Nigeria. When we are small, an adult, you do something, an adult will just flog you, that adult that never met your parents, and then people, you run to your parents, and they will smack you because they believe that that adult, whatever that adult saw you doing, that it was bad. So I tend to tell people, to just worry about your life, live your life, be happy, raise your kids to be happy. People, whatever they decide to do, if they want to marry a white person, if they want to marry, if they say they are Nigerian, that's okay. But inculcate it in them. But one thing I found out is this: that as we get older, we tend to come to our roots. I'm becoming more like my father. Because there were so many things, my father did, I never I was like, oh, this is too Igbo chick, too class. But, sometimes, I'm going back, I'm playing the kind of music he used to play. Some of the music I never liked before. So sometimes, like kids, we will be our parents. So what I'm saying is just, worry too much. Just, there are challenges because, we look at things and say that there are challenges. Just basically raise your kids to be normal people. Raise your kids
all right,
to good
all right.
people, then you have less challenges.
Thank you so much. We as we get older, we're becoming like our parents. So let me frame this question now. I'll come to you, Osaino. Did your parents? Okay, I'll present as if I don't know, but let's say, did they actually encourage you in any way? Anybody say to you, you have to marry somebody from Nigeria when you left? Did anybody from your family try to push you in a certain direction? Because if your parents push you in a certain direction because they are old and they are seeing things, chances are that when you may have this liberal viewpoint that most people express today, I want my kids to marry whoever will make them happy. But when you are getting old, when that time comes, you may start thinking like your parents, and you may start thinking, I want them to marry from where you come from.
Is this a is this
A trick
my,
question.
my mother warned me. She pulled my ear. He said,
Oh,
my mother warned me. He said, don't marry when you go. Don't marry somebody. Don't marry a white person when you go over there. She warned me. She warned me. Pulled my ear. I said, so I was like, Mama, you know, I mean, you can't be saying something like that. Supposing if I go over there and see Bill Clinton's daughter, uh, are you saying that? Are you saying that I'm not gonna marry her? So by saying that, he laughed, you know. Uh-huh. So something like that. Yeah, I mean, she was particular about it, and when the time for me to, you know, get married, I put all those things into consideration. And Rudy, you know that you and I talked about it, you know, before in the past.
hmm
So like people over here, most of the time they don't tend to stay that long, you know, in marriage. They get tired of people. You know what I'm saying? They might live with you for maybe a period of 10 years and 20 years, and they get tired of you. So what are you gonna do at that point? And now remember this issue of that we are talking about, whether if you have kids with a white person or somebody from here, we were kids, you know, ever go back to Nigeria. So we are it's like it's a vicious circle now. We are back to square one where we started. And this discussion didn't happen you know, yesterday. These discussions were from almost 20 years ago. So now that's you know, personally, I will advise my kids. I will tell them, you know, this is how it is, you know, so, and allow them to make their own decisions on some of these issues.
Thank you. Arize, nobody warned you not to marry a white. Is that nobody warned you when you were living? Did anybody say to you, don't make sure whatever you do in Malta, don't marry somebody who is white? Nobody.
My, my brother, I'll make it clear here. I come to Europe. As you can see, I'm 30, between 30 heading to 40 now. So, I'm not, I will not brag or promote myself. I come from a very poor family. So I know what I passed through for me to be here in Malta. So when I want to marry, then my mother did not support it. So I told her forget about it. You don't know how I come to Europe. You don't know how the system works here. What I'm going to pass through to survive. Number one, I didn't go to university. Secondary school dropout. Problem by myself to come here. So you will not sit down there in Africa telling me what to do here, how I'll make my life more better. So she go against it, not to marry Oyibo. She go against it, but I reject them. I reject that because I consider it as a nonsense. But you don't know what is going on here.
Wow. All right. Arize, it's all right. I got the gist. Where do I go to now? Jonaba.
Yeah.
The same question. I don't know if you I've asked you the same question. Did anybody? Because it starts from us. I like this connection. It starts from us because what we are going to project in terms of our kids. First of all, we start with how we dealt with the same issue because most of us came here probably not married, and then you had to choose, and you made the choice, and there were pressure most likely on you. So, Jonaba, what was it like for you?
Whether I was told not to marry,
Yeah, marry somebody who is white or an American or somebody who is not from Benue or so. What was it like?
no. My parents are very open-minded people. They just want me happy. They just tell me that I should be careful who I decide to stay with. We don't believe in divorce that much, so we just like all everything they're doing. telling me that I should make sure I see far off, don't just get carried away by any other thing. But the person, I think we can spend the rest of our life together. But right now, I see it as personally, I was also like you said, it's about we're projecting, or sometimes the way we were brought up, we're trying to pass it to our own children, but I don't have that experience. Personally, I don't have a problem, but I married and I married I married a Yoruba lady, and I'm more or less in the middle belt. So, and I'm good with her, so I don't have a problem with that. And nobody told me.
Okay, very good. Ralph, I know your grandfather wanted to control and build boundaries, but your father broke the boundary, and you have been breaking boundaries all the while. Let me not bother you about that question. I know that you don't have any pressure.
No, that question applies to me because I never met my grandfather. He died. I mean, when you had 10 wives, why would you not die young? That killed him. So that killed him. But the thing is that our families have secrets, and that was one of the secrets because when my mom took that rule to heart, so she never married her first love. Her first love was a Ghanaian man, but she had a kid with him. That was my elder sister. And with time, when I got older, and you start noticing that when she talks about him, her face changes. You can tell when someone is talking about their first love, the way the face looks, because she ended up marrying a man who was beating the hell out of her later on, a very abusive human being. We don't know the trauma that man caused on her later on. And when you asked her, why did you not marry that man? Oh, your grandfather said we should not marry. He made us promise we should not marry Ghanaian. We cannot marry Ghanaians. But he had children with Ghanaian women. Some of his children are not identified as Nigerians. My uncle was a major general in the Ghanaian army. The person who led the people that released Rawlings. My uncle was one of them. When J.J. Rawlings was locked up the second time when he was supposed to be executed, my uncle was one of the people who released him. So that guy never calls himself Nigerian. When he comes to Nigeria, does not even drink Nigerian water because he doesn't trust Nigerian water. That's how Ghanaian is. But you say your father told you don't marry Ghanaian, so you can't marry Ghanaian. And that's how the line starts. And some of the children took that to heart. We can't marry outside of Nigeria. We can't marry outside of our Ijaw. And you start creating unnecessary, and then you go marry problematic human beings beating you. You marry the one who, if you are a man, you are bad news. My uncle once met, I don't know where he met this white woman in Lagos. He was in immigration. Good time. He loved her. She loved him. That rule came out. That's why he never married her in the early 90s. She used to come visit us. And then all of a sudden, I never saw her again. And then he married a woman who nobody in the family can get along with that woman. But it's like, we don't understand. One day she used a knife and stabbed him in the back.
Ooh.
I don't know, but I was too young to understand what happened. Hey, everybody, but it's that same rule. You can't marry non-Nigerian. You can't, but he's in Nigeria. He's in Nigeria. This is not somebody who left Nigeria. He's in Nigeria. At the end, he got somebody who he fell in love with. Rumor came out that she was Ghanaian. That woman was not even Ghanaian. She was an Ijaw woman, but it was way in the 90s. So today she's in Maryland. She was working for CBN. Why would a Ghanaian be working at CBN? And I don't know how the rumor started. And so this thing has been, it's terrible how it applies to families, how it comes in, and we just allow it affect us. Is the person good for you? Do you love the person? No. Is the person Nigerian? Is okay if it's Nigerian? Is the person Igbo? It's not Igbo. But we have so many intertribal marriages in Nigeria. And the people are happy. They've been happy even during the Civil War. But how many marriages broke up because of that? And we don't talk about all these things, but we want to stick to, I remember the first time I saw interfaith marriage in Nigeria, when I saw a Muslim marrying a Christian, and it was the in-laws that were fighting each other on the day of the wedding. The in-laws were fighting, but the man and the woman loved each other in Ibadan. So this thing is something where that's why I don't give marriage advice, because if a man and a woman, or a man and a man and a woman, whoever, if they all love each other, let them be. Let them be. If the two of them made that decision, go do whatever you want to do and get married.
Okay.
My cousin is in Hong Kong, and oh boy, before he even graduated university, he said he had met a Hong Kong citizen, a Chinese citizen from Hong Kong that he wants to get married to. I would have said, hey, get your degree first. Next thing, she's pregnant. And he said he's married. And before I knew it, divorced 1 year, and she's gone with the baby. And all these things doesn't mean all women from there are bad. But he didn't even have a job. He hadn't settled down.
So Ralph, your family, I didn't know they've gotten to Hong Kong too. I mean, I thought it was.
We are Ijaw people. We like water.
I thought it was.
We like water. The water carries us everywhere.
You're already in Hong Kong. Oh, wow. All right. Let's get back to the kids. And I have a question that I want to go around. Kenny, I'm coming to you because there are some parents abroad who send their children back home to go to school. I want to know if you will do something like that. They said that they are sending them home so that they will learn about home, and so that they won't just become American or British, and they will, get all these things we are discussing to be integrated into that culture. Will you do something like that? If not, why?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, my daughter was, raised in Nigeria. She went to Nigeria when she was like 2. She came back when she was like 13 or so. And but I mean, like,
hold on. Did that have impact? Is she different because she did that? Is she different from other kids who didn't go to Nigeria to stay there?
No, because when they come here, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you send your kids to Nigeria where you are not there to give them that directive, that things you want them to inculcate into them, you will have other people do that for you. What are you expecting when they come? Because like all these things, we try to tell people things. That thing has to be rooted in them for them to be able to, to carry it. You can't just, tell somebody something, that's not deep, and then you tell, you want that thing to reflect in the person's life all through. So when she came back, she had to be, about just to become an American. And she looked at all those things, probably in Nigeria, that place is stupid, that place is dumb. But probably, when she gets older, I believe that, maybe she will have to really assess her position. So I'm thinking, I don't think all those things, why do we, struggle, like I just said before, have your kids, with you. You raise them, give them the value. All those values you think, you have you brought from Nigeria. Those values are in you. They're not in Nigeria. They are in you. Show it to them. Because okay, right now, look at what is happening in Nigeria. Are you going to put your kids there so that they'll be, every day you'll be thinking, so it doesn't work that way. Just like I said before, man is a product of association, observation, and the mind. So wherever you are, okay, for instance, Isaac, Abraham's son, when he wanted to marry, his father told him, I have to, his father sent his servant to go to his father's house, to Abraham's father's house. So, and I think, and then he married Laban. Isaac's mother was Sarah. Okay, Sarah. So Isaac was sent to Sarah's brother's house, and he married the daughter. So he married, his cousin. So that was what Abraham did. Abraham was able to. It depends on what you, like I said. When you are with your kids, you raise them. Put things into them so that they will respond to you. Okay, so when and then but because Abraham did it and Isaac respected his opinion, doesn't mean that it will happen this time around. Because now we have so many things. People are like internet, social media and stuff like that. Like people we are like we are one right now. Everyone, like Hong Kong, we can meet somebody from Hong Kong online. You can meet somebody from Europe or from Haiti, from anywhere online. We intermarry. So things have changed. So we have to adjust. We don't have to start thinking that we have to raise our kids the way we were raised, or the way things happen in Nigeria. Okay, what is Nigeria now? What is the culture they have in Nigeria? Okay, for instance, now you guys know. Probably we talked about it the other day. Former governor of Anambra, the wife went to Igwe on the Atana and be doing that. With Igwe. It's not supposed to happen in Igbo culture.
Okay.
So what is that culture? What is that culture you want to teach them anymore? So we have so many problems.
Very good point. But it's a very good point. I'll come to Osano. It's a very good point you raised. But when are we going to stop quoting Abraham and Isaac? I was thinking that you talk about Okonkwo and Moye and Ezima, and that is when Moye wanted to get married. That anyway, that's by the same.
No, because I wanted to say something a lot of people will understand.
Okay. Oh, you mean people want to understand Okonkwo?
I've met Nigeria who never read that thing for a part.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Osino, the same question.
Oh, you mean making reference of?
No.
Oh.
I even forgot the question Ekene was answering. The initial question. No, the point.
No, you asked me about your kids in Nigeria.
Very good. Are you going to take your kids? Or are you inclined to sending them to Nigeria so that they will go there and integrate into the culture better than what you can do from here, from the distance?
No, I didn't have that courage to send my kids away to my brothers. I wanted to have that opportunity to be able to bond with my kids, to be able to train them the way I want to train them. So I didn't have that courage enough to send them to, go and live with my, most of the time, and especially my brothers, they are not like in the East, they're in the Lagos. So what are you trying to achieve? They might not even speak the language that you want them to speak, which is the Igbo language. They might end up speaking the broken and the Yoruba language. So that purpose is already defeated right there immediately. So, but it's better. I chose the option of taking them home gradually, once in a while. Whatever they can grab, they can let them grab it. While the basic thing is that those values that you want them to get, those core values, hard work, integrity, honesty, those things that you want to make sure that they have it before they leave the house. And years go so fast, the years go so fast. You might think, oh, you still have some time. Before you know it, they are 18 and they are ready to go to college. So you start early, to imbibe these kind of virtues that you want. It's really difficult, but try your best and just pray about it. Because the environment sometimes that we are in is really, really, difficult for you to get these things across. But you can try and commit the other ones to prayers. And may God help you.
Yeah, let me also inform you that there are some parents I know here in America who send their kids to. There's a school in Anambra State that is considered one of the best elite school, residential school somewhere. They send them to that school. And so you don't actually have to send them to your siblings in Lagos or anywhere else, but down to Anambra State. And
you are sending them. You are sending to a boarding school. Is it a boarding
school? Yeah.
Sending to a boarding school, and you find out that the kids are virtually trained. They are the one raising themselves by themselves. So
And the principal and the school authority, they are putting their own values into the child, not your own values.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Arinze. Arinze, would you consider sending your daughter to Nigeria to go to school? If you have
my dead body.
Over here, why? I mean, to Anambra State. I don't mean Lagos or Sokoto. I mean Anambra State.
Even though in South Africa is rubbish to me. Never. I don't wish my daughter such rubbish and nonsense continent. She will grow here. She will stay here with me. Then grow up with me. Then I will pass whatever I have to her. But she don't need to go to Africa to learn anything. She will learn everything in Nigeria. No, never.
Let me
Never.
ask you, how what do you cook? Do you cook African food? I want to know if your daughter eats African food.
Eat obono soup, busi soup, salad soup, everything.
You know how to make all those.
I cook it. I cook African food. I cooked everything for her.
Okay, I'll check the ticket to your house. So maybe I'll come for vacation.
I know how to cook.
We hang out.
I know how to cook.
We hang out.
I cook bitter leaf. I cook all the Igbo traditions. She loves them. She eats them. What she needs in Nigeria? No, Africa. No, never.
All right. Ralph, let me ask you. Your daughter, I mean, you are multicultural, so I don't even know how to begin with you. Does she eat Nigerian food, or do you even eat Nigerian food yourself?
You want to try that champion? That I can eat everything. You start with me. I eat everything. Me, I know they forget. You know, you had that day where Ovie asked me whether they chop. Say me, I too like food. I said, my friend, yeah, you see how this. When I left Nigeria, I was like this, bonga fish. I was skinny. I come there now, come they do fasting. And me, I don't church for Nigeria. I don't take out the fasting. And I do church again. So now I can chop the go. So but me, I eat all African. I know they do this Nigerian thing. Like Nigeria is not Africa. Africa is 54 countries. So I chop everything. But I cook only Nigerian food I can cook. I don't have that patience to be cooking.
What can you cook? What soup can you make?
I can cook egosi now. The egosi,
everybody says
peanuts.
You know how to cook edikaiko?
Well, it depends on the flavor of the day. If I really patient, everything I've got meat. You know, I just go my butcher place, collect goat. You know, my Arab brothers here.
Okay.
You know, we both support Alakli.
That podcast that we're going to do our house.
What they chop food for the studio?
we don't talk in the studio. Okay, because I need to be fed very well to do this podcast.
We'll give you Odeku. We'll give you Odeku me a drink. Don't worry.
All right.
No, but seriously, my daughter, she eats Nigerian, Ghanaian, only pepper soup way. Because like sometimes she did a longer throat now. She'll see me the chop. She'll say, she gonna do let me eat from your plate. Then wait, it's spicy, it's spicy. I say it's spicy. She'll see the chop, they go. Like so she doesn't, it don't matter whether not Chinese food, the Nigerian food, Ghanaian food, Ethiopian food, she'll chop.
What of on a best food, banga soup or Delta banga soup?
Banga soup. I get banga soup. Yeah, banga soup easy to cook now. We won't go the pound palm can. They get inside can. Ghanaians get Ghana and everybody gets Ghana Nigerians get the can now. So all you do is just open can, pour inside pot now. So it's very easy. Or not those days where they boom, 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 boom. You if you see that those days, I forgot grab pass. This man. I for the go Olympics, Seth.
All right, I know you cook. You cook everything, but I want to know your daughter who does she eat Nigerian food?
Oh, of course, she eats Nigerian food, and because she has a lot of Caribbean friends also. They eat Caribbean, they eat Nigerian. Yeah, I mean, I think like Nigerian food has become, it has become popular these days, among other Africans and other Black people, and even among some, Caucasians, and even actually I met an Asian from Korean. He was like, from where are you from Nigeria? So, he was like Nigerian and Ghana jollof rice. Which one is better? Like. So people are getting used to Nigerian food now, and online people can cook anything. So, but it's not only food that but I think that's a good place to start, because sometimes like when when the kids, when they become proud of, your food, now Nigerian food is becoming, now Nigerian music is becoming popular. So more of our kids are identifying that, they are Nigerians, so it helps a lot that, you can, we can cook and, have a food that they can appreciate.
All right.
Yeah. So, but my daughter, she doesn't know how to,
She doesn't know how to cook.
Oh, no, she doesn't. She doesn't.
All right, we have like 2 more minutes to go. I just want to round up by giving you the chance to say the final words. Maybe next week next Wednesday we'll talk about. I sense that people have this religion. People abroad, they have a different way they look at religion compared to people at home. So maybe we can touch on that. All right. So rounding up, Osaino, final word.
Oh, Rudy, I believe that the essence of these things that we do is to, rub minds together, look for solutions to be able to navigate this environment that we are in. And most of the time, when we give this kind of advices, we believe that nobody is an embodiment, of knowledge or custodian of knowledge. People have different views, different, ways of saying things. So I believe that for me personally, I'll continue to, work as hard as I can to be able to give my kids the best of everything, for them, and I give them the tools, to be able to live their own life, even within this space that we are in, then the rest is just, leave it, to the hands of God, and God will continue to direct them. That's what I'm doing.
All right. Thank you so much, Osaino. Let me go to you, Arinze. What's your final word?
I will say, my brother, Dr. Damage, thank you for this kind of program. I learned a lot from on your program. I learned a lot. That is it. That is all I can
Thank you.
I learned a lot.
Thank you so much. Ralph, final word.
Oh, everybody watching, if you watch this video and you didn't give a like, go back and give a like, my friend, or you don't know how to cook. That's what you're telling us. You cook bad jollof. So go and give a like and share this video with your friends and check out my podcast, White Label American.
Yes.
So everybody has given us better jollof words of advice here and jollof experiences. It's not easy for people raising children. And it's not easy to come on camera and share your experience.
Oh,
so
it's not. It's not. People type comments. It's very easy. I invite them to come.
They type. They can't fight people. Like, my friend. Don't show your face if you easy. So, and also remember that your experience is not the experience of everybody. So don't let whatever is happening stop you from enjoying life. There's always a second chance. So thank you, Dr. Damages, for having me as always, and shout out to everybody.
Thank you so much. Can I final word?
Brothers and sisters out there, please do not so much worry about your kids. That you can live your life. This life once you live it, just enjoy your life. Give your kids whatever you can give them, and they leave them alone. They will, find their footing. They will find their own. There are many kids that have, they don't have parents, and they turn out to be good kids. So what are you bothering about? This, about that, Don't worry about that. Just if you're going, if it's church you want to put them in church, put them in church. If it's a mosque, put them there. If it's a religion, put them there, and just pray that it works out. After it's like investment. Sometimes investment will work out, sometimes it doesn't work out. So
all right.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Kene, Ralph, Osaino, Arinze, Helen, who is not here now, and so many other people I've forgotten. Thank you for joining me. It's very, very, very appreciated. And we do this again on Wednesday. That is when we talk about things that are of importance to all of us who are outside of the country. And then, of course, on Saturday morning, we talk about politics, Nigerian politics, anything about politics going on. A lot of things are going on. So join us, and we will have you then. Until then, it's Rudolph Okonkwo signing off.
Okay, bye,
Start
guys.
dying
All right.
slowly. If you
All
do
right,
not
bye.
travel, if you do not read, if you do not listen to the sounds of life, if you do not
Okay,
appreciate
good night. I
yourself,
need to run and go
you
plan
start dying
birthday party for
slowly.
somebody.
When you
Okay.
kill your self-esteem, when you do not let
All right.
others
Good
help you,
night,
Okay. See
Rudolph.
you, Ralph.
you start
See you,
dying
Ralph.
slowly. If you
I'll try to see
become
you on
a
Saturday.
slave of your
All right.
habits,
Take care.
walking every day on the same paths, if you do not change your routine, if you do not wear different colors, or you do not speak to those you don't know, you start dying slowly. If you avoid to feel passion and their turbulent emotions, those which make your eyes glisten and your heart beat fast, you start dying slowly. If you do not change your life when you are not satisfied with your job or with your love, if you do not risk what is safe for the uncertain, if you do not go after a dream, if you do not allow yourself at least once in your lifetime to run away from sensible advice. And a woman who held a baby against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children." And he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you.
Hi. How are
You
you?
may give them your love, but not your